Surviving Sister Wives contains adult content that may not be suitable for Latter-day Saints or sinners. Listener discretion is advised.
Hello and welcome to Surviving Sister Wives.
I'm Corey.
And I'm Carly. Surprise, you probably weren't expecting this episode to drop in your feed because we forgot to mention on Monday that we're starting to double up to get this book done.
Double up.
I'm not entertained.
You're not entertained by that?
I'm
That was
not.
Sir Mix-a-Lot.
Yeah, we just came off of an unhinged session of trying to record ad reads.
Yeah, that was interesting, to say the least, for sure.
In a lot of tears. Not of sadness, of laughter.
Well, kind of sadness for me in a few spots.
I can't spell out loud, even if there's a script in front of me.
And I knew I was going to have to edit this, so that was what it came down to.
But here we are. Isn't that exciting that we're going to be dropping episodes on Monday and Friday until we get this book done, which will be, in a couple weeks, because not becoming Sister Wife. I keep calling Christine's book that.
Yeah.
Just Sister Wife.
Just Sister Wife. Just Christine.
Sister Wife with just Christine.
Cooking with just Christine. Sister Wife with just Christine.
That book is coming out on September 2nd. And then we will start reading Sister Wife. It's a summer of reading here on the podcast.
Just in time for the new season of Sister Wives that will be airing, season 20. Because no, it's not canceled. Of course it's not.
Despite the rumors, every season when it ends, this thing always resurrects itself and comes back.
It's coming back Sunday, September 28th.
We did a trailer breakdown over on Patreon. You don't have to pay anything to listen to it. Just sign up for free, and you can check that out. That was last Thursday?
Something
We
like
have
that.
to scroll back a little bit to find it.
A little bit.
Let's keep vamping and filling some time because this was only, 16 pages, these two chapters combined?
What is happening with the page count towards the middle here? We really run out of gas, run out of steam.
I cannot comprehend how they keep telling us that the benefit of plural marriage is this big family, and then it is the least dense portion of the entire book. They had the least to say about it.
Collectively, across the board. They have more to say about the celebrity section, which is the show. Which, I mean, Robyn kind of got into the show already in this segment.
She couldn't wait.
She could
She
not
blew her load a little
contain
bit.
herself.
Christine, I wanted the family, not just the man. It has 6 pages worth of content to talk about for the family.
If Robyn's writing more than you didn't write enough. So Janelle and Christine, I'm looking at you girls.
Yeah, did they forget to tell them that they had to write this and it was due the next day? They wrote this all in the middle of the night.
I mean, I'm telling you, it's like they had a first draft and they just pushed it along like they were going to come back to it at a later date. Maybe we'll eventually get around to it. No, it didn't happen. Didn't pan out like that.
Well, let's pick up on chapter 11. This is Christine's section of the family portion of the book, starting on page 191.
It's basically a rehash of, well, not a rehash, not our rehash. It is corroborating Meri and Janelle's sections here about the different parenting styles into the cohesive vision of their family as a whole.
I'm really hating this section of the book because of that. It was more interesting to read about their individual relationships at the very beginning because they were unique stories that were different from one another. Having them talk about the exact same things in 4 different chapters, I'm bored.
It's boring.
Yeah, they're just saying the same things over and over and over again.
Oh, I highlighted a part in Robyn's chapter where there was an entire paragraph where she said over the span of 3 sentences, it was the same point that she was making. So she just phrased it.
No one edited this book.
3 different ways in a row as part of the same paragraph. So the page count was padded to begin with, and it's still single digits for the chapter.
They're playing with the margins to get this one done.
Pretty embarrassing. But the thing that it brought to my attention here too was how Christine was touting the different parenting styles, the cohesive vision for their family. It made me think about when Robyn joined the family, how Robyn was, again, not really interested in doing that. She wanted to do things her way. and have everyone bend to her will as far as what was allowed to happen with her as far as parenting goes with her tenders.
Well, so that's another point where it feels like they were not being honest when they wrote this book, because we know that that's an issue. That was a point of contention that they had in the family, and they're not talking about it. How bringing Robyn into the family created this different dynamic where they had to address their parenting styles. And I guess, did she eventually acquiesce and come to terms with parenting differently? Or did they agree to disagree? I don't know, because they didn't even talk about it.
Didn't bring it up. Didn't seem to be important enough to mention in the book here. Let's just repeat the things that we've already said in the last 2 chapters. Have to do that.
Okay, so what I thought was odd, though, was Christine saying that they have more or less the same rules, but they can enforce them quite differently.
Right, which she attests to. Take the couches, for example. We've discussed this multiple times in the past 2 chapters. Jumping on the furniture is not something that's permitted in the Brown family. It's not an expectation that they have. It shouldn't be happening. But if you go to some people's houses, they might let it slide.
So then is it a rule? If they're saying that they have the same rules, more or less, the enforcement is different. If you just don't enforce a rule at all, is it a rule anymore? Does it even exist? Or do they just know that at Christine and Janelle's houses, they can do different things than they can do at Meri and Robyn's houses?
I think all the kids are pretty quick to learn what they can get away with in whatever scenario they find themselves in. That's just a natural thing for kids to kind of test the boundaries and figure out what they're able to, like, push the limits of, essentially.
You can say it. Kids are manipulative.
I mean, they are.
They are.
They're going to try it
they're
out.
Going to figure out, what's this adult going to let me get away with?
They got to test the waters. They got to see what they're getting themselves into here. But a rule is only good if you're going to enforce it, too, I think is the other point that comes down to. So if you have these rules, they're great in theory, but then you don't actually enforce them or have the set expectation for people to follow that rule, then what's the point of having the rule?
I think that's the point I was making earlier.
Yeah, that's it.
We're back here again. It's like we're writing these chapters ourselves.
You know what? Yeah, give me a pen. I'll get to started. I'll get to starting on.
That's how the ad sounded, guys.
Here we go on the #1 New York Times bestseller.
Now she goes on to talk about the different kids who have closer relationships with non-bio moms. So the top example being Meri and Isabel. What happened with that?
I guess it kind of phased out a little bit. What was the...
Like, it wouldn't have been my go-to example.
No, I don't think so. And then, was it just something that Isabel and Christine ended up having a little bit more patience for each other at a certain point? They appreciated each other a little bit more. Isabel didn't seem like a problem child by any standards that I've seen.
But Christine writes about her like she is one.
Right. So that's where I get confused.
Also, I really don't like that. I think I expressed that earlier, that the way that they talk about Isabel in this book and the friction that there is between her and Christine just makes me feel uncomfortable having this documented, knowing that she's a child at the time and this is what your parents had to say about you.
Well, I thought what was interesting here was that it's an emphasis for Christine where when she's saying it's a lot to have 6 kids and she can't be there for them 100% all the time. So when she doesn't have the capability to connect with her kids in that way, she is able to really rely and lean on her sister wives for help, which I feel like was a call out, sort of a shot, sort of a dig at Robyn, who goes to everyone else except for her sister wives to rely on and to lean on.
I'm excited that you pointed that out as you were reading that, because when we get to Robyn's chapter, I feel like she had a few little low blows in there as well.
Yes.
I feel like she and Christine were just dueling each other as they were writing these chapters.
Yeah, they were getting a glimpse of each other's stuff, and then it was just passive aggressiveness that they would publish secretly.
Was hanging out with Meri supposed to be beneficial for Isabel, though, or was it more of a punishment? Because I started to question that when Christine was talking about how she punishes the kids for certain things, the appropriate response to the different things they do. And she said, when Isabel's a brat, which don't love that, she can't spend time with me, which also I don't like.
Yeah, you're withholding attention,
from your child as a punishment
withholding
because of
affection.
their behavior.
Right.
But then maybe the real punishment is that you have to go hang out with Meri.
Does that punishment fit the crime, though? If Isabel is being annoying, to force her to go hang out with Meri?
To hang out with the most annoying person we know.
Oh, boy. That's going to be a whole thing. Well, what's the other example of a mom, a sister wife, being around for a kiddo? Robyn has been so great for Mykelti. That's the other go-to example here that Christine's ready to throw in our face
This was the nicest thing that she had to say about Robyn, which was my daughter, who I really can't connect with because she's, a little off. Robyn's really been able to be a safe haven for her. And so for that, I am relieved.
When we get to Robyn's section, I have thoughts about that too, because she brings it up as well. So yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit. The punishment fitting the crime thing, there were a few. So that was the Isabel one of the withholding attention, even though Christine's making it a big point about how important individual time in a family as large as theirs is. But then she's also equally talking about withholding affection and attention from Isabel when she's being annoying. What was the other one that bothered me? Oh, when Mykelti wears immodest clothes, I take them away. They won't let you perform naked. I already asked. But
this is Nazi Germany. I hope you guys know what we're quoting, otherwise you're very alarmed right now.
Where do they come up with this stuff? But the immodest clothes, the indecent amount of skin seems to be a very large concern. One of Christine's only concerns with her teenage daughters at this point. Plunging necklines.
I thought we were about to get into Meri confronting Mykelti in the kitchen that time that they were packing because of her low-cut shirt. But we're not even going there. I guess she's done trading barbs with Meri for now. She's moved on to bigger and better things in this book.
Well, I like that she did call out, we would deal with it differently, because Christine kind of rolls her eyes and asks them to pull their shirt up or change into something else. Janelle doesn't really notice unless it's very drastic. Then she'll say something.
Janelle's oblivious.
She has no idea. Meri doesn't let them even purchase those clothes in the first place. And then if it were Robyn, she would give them a big lecture on purity.
Hold on. She mentioned two different things for Meri. Meri wouldn't let the girls buy the shirt in the first place. But then also, while Meri would want them to express themselves while still remaining within the rules of our family.
Yeah, it's kind of formatted in a way that doesn't really make sense. They kind of bookended with Meri.
Yeah,
in
like
a sort of way.
She forgot already that she even wrote something about Meri.
Thanks for noticing.
She had to circle back there. Robyn and give them a lecture about purity. We already know.
We know. We saw it. We lived it too. We got to experience the whole thing.
I'd be the worst teenager in this family, because if she started lecturing me about having a little bit of cleavage showing, I'd ask her if that's how she ended up pregnant with Dayton.
Uh-oh. She's not going to like that.
How did you lose your purity, Robyn?
Yeah,
Can you tell me that story in depth? What were you wearing?
Let's talk about that story again.
Since apparently it had to do with that.
How much cleavage were you throwing around in your high school days, Carly?
Me?
Yeah.
I didn't have much to speak for.
Right. Okay. Well, yeah, me either. At the time. Now, this is where Christine's getting into the point of the parenting differences that are becoming more apparent as more teenagers grow into the family system here, where she was mentioning how we may take the liberties of throwing in our 2 cents on a certain situation that a sister wife finds with their child, but most of the time it's kind of mind your business sort of an approach here, or you'll ask for another sister wife's opinion. But I feel like Robyn's throwing her 2 cents in a lot of the times, especially in circumstances where she has no business throwing in that 2 cents, because we saw that a lot on the show.
Yeah, but it's making me wonder if she actually brings things up when they're like in a parenting moment and the cameras aren't around, or even if the cameras are there. The place she seems most comfortable speaking her mind is when they're on the couch and Cody's there with them, which is different, because then you're giving your hypothetical response and what you think should have happened, but you're not actually following through with it in the moment.
It's a hindsight is 20/20 view on parenting.
Yeah, I just think that that's why the kids never really considered her much of a mom, because she didn't really go out of her way to involve herself in anything that had to do with them. We have to talk about dating because the outline for this chapter was to talk about different rules in your homes.
It's the same
approaches
prompts.
to parenting.
Same prompts, different wife.
So here we are. We're on point 2A.
The dating question.
So the kids aren't allowed to date until they're 16, but they're still not dating. They're allowed to go out in a group, and that's okay as long as you don't have a crush on anyone in the group.
And then once you're 16, you can date in a group.
Oh, wait. So that's before they're 16, they can hang out in a group with no
romantic interest.
Okay. Then when they're 16, they can date in a group.
In a group.
And then you have to wait till you're 18 to have one-on-ones.
And I think that was just, kind of cover their asses from a legal perspective based on Maddie and Caleb's relationship, maybe. So they are kind of going back.
Do they have a group text?
Making sure that they have all their bases covered.
Well, maybe that's where the area of gray comes in, because they do mention it gets a little gray, a little confusing here and there.
I feel like we got half of this story. What was this prom dance story with Mykelti?
Yeah, this seemed like it had potential, and we didn't really see it on. Maybe we did see it on the show. I don't remember.
Well, no, I mean, like in the book, it was like it building to something like some sort of a reveal or some sort of moment that was going to come from it, and then it just didn't really happen. We just kind of trailed off and started talking about something else. We started talking about social media instead. And it was like, okay, I'm glad we brought this up then.
So the story is that Mykelti wanted to go out. She's only 15, though. So by their rules, she has to hang out in a group with no romantic interests involved.
Right. In a group and no romantic interest. But Mykelti promised, which you can take Mykelti at her word, obviously, especially 15-year-old Mykelti, for sure.
Totally honest.
She swore up and down. She promised there's nothing romantic at all between this boy and her.
That she wants to go and dance with.
So Christine and Cody, they do their due diligence. They make sure she's not getting catfished. They read through her texts. They go through her phone. Okay, there's not any crushing sort of conversation that's going on here back and forth. It seems pretty, up to par, up to snuff as far as what we're looking at here.
Do you think that you only teach kids to be sneakier when you do things like that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because if you really wanted, the rules, right? We're Mykelti in the situation, which is a scary thought, but she knows that she's not really supposed to be able to go on a date with a boy. It's a dance. It's not really a date, but they're going to take it as a date. So, of course, you're going to say you don't like him in that way.
Because if you did say that, you would absolutely not be allowed. So you have to cover your trail here. You have to make sure that they don't figure this out.
And now that they've gone through her phone, which if they've done this with any of the other kids, maybe she had a heads up that she should go clean things up. But if not, now the other ones are going to know that you better make sure there's nothing incriminating in your phone because they're going to look through it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Mykelti seems to strike me as the type of person who would look for a loophole.
What are they worried about? She's going to wear that stupid fucking hat to the dance and you're not going to have to worry about anything.
Ouch. Man, I had a note about Mykelti's hat, but it was in the Robyn section. So hopefully I remember to bring it up there. But I was hoping I would be able to bring back the call back to the hat. Before.
What's with the hat?
What's with the hat? No reply, no response at all. Okay, so then what is it? It's
this
Christine's
whole
out of
story
town?
is just supposed to be kudos for Robyn.
Well, it's like a pat on the back for Christine and Cody for allowing Mykelti to do this at 15, a normal thing, going to a high school event. So they made an exception for her. And then Robyn came through in the clutch because she's everyone's go-to gal. And Christine was out of town for this day. And so Robyn was there to help because she's so great with hair and makeup, getting Mykelti ready.
I'm just wondering if Christine would have been there to do that had she even been home. Or would Mykelti just have gotten ready by herself?
Or gone to Robyn to help her get ready.
She'd still go there anyway. This is all Robyn's good for, if she's your sister wife, is making sure the girls who are going to dances look pretty.
Is that all she's contributing here?
Yes.
That's it? So far, that's all we've seen.
Just vanity. I mean, she did take a video so that Christine could see what she looked like.
And it was a cute bonding experience for all of us. Okay, I think that's a stretch. That's a reach. But then we just shift gears. Yeah, we're talking about social media.
Which I've wondered if that should be in the celebrity section. Because I felt a little targeted by her words, a little attacked.
Oh, right. Yeah, I highlighted, I asked the kids not to go on blogs about the show because some people have no conscience online and say whatever they feel.
Ask Meri. She'll tell you all about it in her comment section on Instagram.
But Meri won't tell you about it because she's not spilling tea.
And she's going to block you first, so you'll never know what she thought about your comment.
She has tea. She's choosing to be the better person and not spill it until it becomes financially relevant for her.
Aspen got into some type of online fight with someone over Robyn, too, about how you don't know her. Why are you talking about her?
Do you know what that sounded like? The exact words that she used, because Christine quoted her, I think, for it. The latter half of it. You think you know all of us just from watching us for an hour a week, and you judge us with your small amount of knowledge. I think Cody used that excuse word for word during was that the look back episodes at the end of season 19 or season 18? What was that?
That was when he and Robyn were on the couch grumbling and complaining about how people are mean to them, right?
Yes, and then he was getting grumpy about stuff, and Robyn was trying to calm him down, and then he started going in on that rant. He was going that specific line, and then she stopped him about how these people try to make judgments based off interactions of seeing them for this limited amount of time, for an hour a week.
So you think she was just parroting a Cody line that they've heard frequently?
Or is Cody parroting her?
Maybe that's where
Does
he got it from.
Even know?
From the sage advice of 15-year-old Aspen. Okay, on to the next topic, because this
we're shifting gears.
This chapter has no cohesive voice at all.
No.
So these are just random thoughts. Now, this is where she
stream of consciousness.
Hold on. She's now going to contradict herself from earlier. Of course, having 4 households with different rules does complicate things for the kids. Did we not just say the one great thing is that they all agree on all the rules?
Oh, so the parents.
Just the enforcement is different.
And the parents agree that this is great, but fuck them kids, you know? I mean, like, for the most part, it's complicated, but the pros heavily outweigh the cons. I like how this all became sort of a pissing match between all of the moms about whose house is the hangout house. Because if the kids want to be at my house, that means I'm the best mom. And so Meri had her teenagers congregating in the one area in the house. It's a
quiet space. They come for
homework,
for the peaceful tranquility
study
of her
hall.
Home.
Yeah, it's a way that they can do their homework uninterrupted. And then Janelle has the really nice big pool.
The party house.
The party house.
No rules. You can jump on anything you want. She's not going to pay attention if you're wearing a low-cut shirt.
Yeah, so
just completely oblivious.
She's the cool mom.
Christine's house, you can also go to a pool, but there is a fun, happy, funny baby.
Oh, she didn't have the pool yet.
Oh, I thought she mentioned the pool. She has a baby.
No, she was saying once the summer ended and pool season is over. So once Meri and Janelle's pools close, Christine jumps to the top of the list.
Gotcha.
Because, yeah, look who's talking. You got Truly.
Robyn must have been pissed when Saul did not have the same pull that Truly had.
You know, Saul had a lot on his plate. So to have him be...
He was very busy. He had a lot of jobs to do.
Entertainment. And we know Truly is one to be hostess as far as the charcuterie boards that she puts together. She does
love to entertain a crowd.
She does. She knows what she's getting herself involved in here.
The only sister wife that she's ever really had a good relationship with is Janelle.
The symbiotic relationship between Christine and Janelle, which I feel like was downplayed for a really long time. They didn't really give it as much credence here because this is like when they're living in the rentals in Vegas, when they're writing this book. They didn't even move into the cul-de-sac yet, I don't think.
No, they're still living in the different houses in
Separated.
Vegas, the first set of houses.
Yeah. So like, I think they have since attributed their friendship bond more in the cul-de-sac. So like they weren't even there yet, technically, based on how they tell the story now.
I feel like they made it like, well, once we moved to Flagstaff and then the family fell apart during COVID that we had to rely on each other. But It goes back further than that. Just maybe it ebbed and flowed through time depending on what was going on in their lives. So they needed each other a lot when the kids were little. They did things like grocery shopping together because they had to buy things in bulk. Christine wants to live with Janelle again.
That was the interesting takeaway here, was that, yeah, she was pushing for getting back under the same roof with Janelle, not with Meri, not with Robyn.
Yeah, the first time we read this, I think that kind of went over my head. Because I was so shocked by the fact that Christine is the one who was saying she wants to live in one house. That doesn't track with what we've seen in more current day. But it does when you consider the fact that she does not want to live with Meri and Robyn.
That makes sense still, yeah. And this was like before autonomous Christine really came into effect, because that was when she became master of her domain, was in the cul-de-sac. That was her house. She doesn't want to go back to sharing kitchens, living under the same roof, abiding by another mom's rules in the house. Plus, between her and Janelle, they were the closest ones as far as the permissive parenting would go, or the level of enforcement of these important family rules.
It kind of made me sad when she was describing how they each have their own attributes that together make them a good team, when that's also kind of the basis of marriage, is that you're each bringing things to the table that you're either able to own or work together on. So it really is that they had to be reliant on one another because they could not rely on Cody. But they probably won't move in together because they're going to need a house with a lot of bedrooms, and that just seems like something that's not realistic for them.
Even though God does provide rentals at that size, if he deems you worthy.
They just need Robyn praying for it. She's not going to pray for a rental for them.
No, I don't think so.
How mad would she have been if this had worked out? If, say, the cul-de-sac never came to be, and instead Janelle and Christine moved in together and Meri and Robyn were still in their individual rentals. How do you think that would have played out?
I think Meri would have been catfished way sooner.
I love alternative timeline Sister Wives. It's one of my favorite games. I think that Meri and Robyn would have moved in with each other just out of jealousy to try to prove that their house would be so much better than Christine and Janelle's house.
But then that would push Meri away so quick. She would be so upset. Anytime Cody's over, he's in Robyn's part of the house. He's nowhere near Meri's part of the house. So she would know he's there, but he's not there.
I think it would have gotten a lot of great drama. They should go back in time and film it.
That's going to be...
I want to watch it.
Tough to do. Tough order.
Well, they are just approaching the time where they're going to have an emptier nest, and Christine has no idea how that's all going to play out, but it's probably going to be full of surprises.
As always. And it was.
Very prophetic. Thank you, Christine. Chapter 12, Robyn. We're moving on to what she has to say about family. And I did highlight quite a bit more in this section because she just always gets on my nerves.
Well, first of all, Robyn's very upset at the collective history of the OG3 because that's something that Robyn will never be able to be a part of. So it's something that they have against Robyn.
Isn't that like the third time she said that in this book already?
Not like it's a big deal or anything. Not like she's holding it against them personally, but she totally is.
And to clarify, I've never lived under the same roof with them. So I don't know what that's like.
I don't know, and I wouldn't know because I can't know because they don't let it happen.
That's funny, though. When they were considering, do they live in the biggie housey or not? Do they build it? She kept defaulting to, I don't have an opinion because I've never done it before and I don't know what to expect. But at the very beginning of this chapter, she's saying she never lived with them under one roof, and she was spared a lot of conflict because of that.
Thank God. Yeah.
She does know that it didn't go well when they lived together.
And guess what? If you all moved into a house under one roof, you would probably go through the same conflict, because even though Meri, Christine, and Janelle went through that at one point and they made it work, you don't know if it would work if you're a part of that equation now, Robyn. So there's no guarantees that it's going to go well for you either. That's the scarier part of the biggie housey.
And every time they move in, it's a new can of worms that gets opened.
Oh, yeah.
There's something new that emerges.
I laughed, too, when I had to highlight the part where I helped out with all the kids and contributed my paycheck to the family to help pay all the bills.
I really think she means her show paycheck.
I think she means the show. She was talking about the show, too, about how this becomes an interesting thing because it's in the same section here where she's talking about contributing her paycheck. And I was like, I'm sorry, what are you talking about here? Because then she's talking about how this made them all on the same plane now as far as what they were contributing to the family pot of finances here. We are a team financially now. We are all equal in what we bring. That's because of the show. She's attributing that to the show.
Yeah, I thought one of the phrases that she used, which was financial inferiority, that was interesting to me. So the fact that they're all getting paid from the show and they're all putting their money into this pot and it's all supposed to be equal has eliminated any financial inferiority or instability that may have previously existed.
I think that's a way of Robyn saying, you can't hang it over my head now that I don't have a job.
Yep.
Because I contribute as part of the show income, and that's all of ours collectively that we do together.
If they didn't have the show, I wonder how this relationship would have played out, because I don't think that Robyn would have gotten a job even if they didn't have the show. And then she would have been in the position of having created some inequality within the family. Not that Christine didn't work, right? She was home with the kids for a long period of time, and she worked at different points in time too, kind of in and out. But Robyn never really contributed in the same ways that Christine contributed to the overall whole of the family versus just in their individual unit. So I think that would have been very obvious to everyone that there was maybe not the same level of commitment to the whole family.
A little bit of a gap over in this section here in terms of finances.
It's just so great being part of a big plural family, though, because everyone can show up to school events.
Well, unless it's Leon's choir recitals.
Right. We've
established that.
This is bullet point 3C that Robyn is now addressing about how when Dayton graduated from elementary school, which I was like, wow, they filmed this show as far back as elementary school for Dayton.
He's been on TV for a while.
Jeez. That she invited all the parents and she was just so delighted when everyone showed up. Probably because Cody told them that they had to go to show that you were being supported and that Dayton was part of the family.
Incredibly important that you all be here for this specific reason. And to list this as polygamy is great because school activities. Parents can be at school activities. Like, that's your reason why polygamy is great? That seems oddly specific and like not incredibly useful.
Well, and interesting, but also Meri contradicted that when she talked about Leon's choir event that nobody showed up to.
Well, Cody did. So, I mean, that's like 5 people.
It's probably all Leon cared about.
That's
that
really
Cody was there.
What it comes down to, yeah. Well, I like how Robyn gets to take her shot at, she's a house that the kids hang out at too, because the other kids are often at my house searching for food, which we know because she's posted signs on her fridge
telling them to stop looking for food,
demanding that no food leave this refrigerator without written consent from Robyn or Mindy.
That's why I feel like this book is just full of lies. Don't act like you enjoy having the kids come over and that they can help themselves to anything that they find, because mi casa is su casa. And then really the truth is that you get upset if they eat any of your food. Also, she's just hoarding leftovers for them. You could just eat whatever the discarded food from the night before was, but don't go in the cabinets for anything else.
Oh, because I'm ordering in and taking out a lot. So whatever is there, but also simultaneously, my girls and I don't eat a lot. I struggle to have an appetite.
That annoyed me. I don't know. It just annoyed me. It felt like it was a humble brag.
Anorexia? You're talking about anorexia?
Like, we don't eat that much, so there's spare food in our house. Was this around the time that they went on that honeymoon, or not, I'm sorry, not honeymoon, that birthday trip for Robyn that was to Hawaii, where she saved the grocery money for it?
Allegedly.
She has to defend why she has a lot of extra money because they just don't eat a lot of food.
Yet also, Brianna and Robyn are hypoglycemic, so they need to have snacks around so they don't pass out. Okay,
because they don't eat enough.
You need to eat more food. Yeah, this is a problem. If you're just on the verge of fainting all the time, You need to eat food more consistently on a regular basis, regular interval, so you're not having blood sugar spikes and crashes.
I was really surprised that was Brianna and not Aurora. I just thought Aurora would be the hypoglycemic one.
No, she's the anxiety one.
I know. Yeah.
It's different ailments.
What an interesting house.
Pick your poison, I suppose. But it's a lot of food talk. It's a lot of...
Yeah, I guess she's denying... You made a joke about her ordering, and she has a lot of recipes in her repertoire, Corey. I almost called you Cody. That was scary.
Don't. Please don't. Okay, yeah, and basically, Robyn is waiting for the day where somebody on their birthday will request one of her recipes for their birthday meal. Because in the family, it's... like a rite of honor, a rite of passage for a mom to be requested, a non-bio mom, a meal requested for someone's birthday.
Can I tell you? I did not realize that she was saying, I will feel pretty special when that happens. I thought she said, I felt.
Nope.
I thought it was like it already happened.
No, it has not happened as of date of publish on the book. I guess we'd have to check to see if anybody has made the request for the bomb lasagna.
Guys, if you're still in one of the Brown Kids Patreons or you happen to catch them on a live or something, this is a question that I would really love to know the answer to. Has anyone ever requested one of Robyn's recipes for their birthday?
Yeah, that crime against spaghetti dish.
The cheddar cheese.
The cheddar cheese on the Prego.
Delicious.
Or just if you've been backed up for a little bit and hey, I'm going to need you to make the bomb lasagna because I got to clear out my gut.
There's just celery. It's celery with everything.
Ants on a log. What else can she prepare? Eggs without the pepper.
I want to know what Meri's mashed potato recipe is.
Yeah.
Gabe requested that for his birthday.
I feel like Meri would make good mashed potatoes.
When they did a Thanksgiving episode, they talked about the different items that they're each kind of known for in the family for making, and I believe mashed potatoes came up for Meri.
Because Christine has the rolls. I'm all about that. I feel like Janelle would make like a good gravy. I don't know why.
Okay.
Does that seem like it would hit?
I think she's more of a baking kind of gal.
Baking? Well, baked goods.
In more than one way.
Baked while baking.
She'd love to make a rhubarb pie.
With some extra herbs and spices. Finger licking. Good.
Okay, am I imagining it, or did Darcy say that in one of those mukbangs?
Sort of looks like a vulva.
Okay, guys, Darcy and Stacy have been making food reviews on TikTok.
Oh, they're fishing for sponsorship brand deals.
They're not sponsored or anything. They're just going into Taco Bell and trying out new menu items and talking about them on TikTok. They're worth the watch. So not only are people coming to Robyn's house, the kids, to find food, they're also congregating at her house because it's the fun, hip place for the little girls to hang out.
Robyn has a lot of interests that overlap with young girls.
That's why.
They play dolls, they play house, they do craft. That's basically what Robyn does as a general profession now. She plays house too. As a grown-up.
And when you hit preteen age, we can watch Twilight over and over again on repeat.
She is just gearing all of these kids up for a Twilight marathon when the time is right.
For sexual awakening to Edward Cullen.
Wouldn't be the first, wouldn't be the last.
They love sleeping over at her house. In fact, it happens at least once a week, which is why we saw so much footage on the show of the little girls sleeping over at Robyn's house.
When did that happen? Ever on the show? At Robyn's house?
We saw more footage of people clamoring to spend the night at Meri's than we did at Robyn's.
They did a whole episode of that. I remember that.
This is sad. Were the little girls just hanging out at Robyn's house because Cody was there?
There's nowhere else to go.
Could that have been part of it?
Well, also, it feels like Aurora and Brianna might have like more toys to play with too for the young girls.
A lot of things over at that house.
Yeah, so
they had the playground in the backyard. I mean, not wrong. Every day you go over, there's something new to open. Some QVC package that's arrived with a toy inside. There's gumballs at the door to greet you. Kids love this place.
Yeah, living for that dopamine hit of ripping open a package of something every single day. A rush of endorphins.
It's really sad that they didn't get to start the unboxing trend. I feel like that would have been really big in the Brown family.
Yeah, for their family YouTube channel that Christine was talking about. I'm sorry.
Where was that?
I didn't
Someone
get to hit
find
subscribe.
the archives of their family YouTube channel and web page.
Well, and web page.
Spelled just broken into two different words. Web, capital W.
Our www.page.com.
Like, this book was not written that long ago.
I mean, it's been over a decade, but it was not.
It wasn't a whole website. It was a single web page.
It was one web page, not a site. Yeah. We couldn't pay for the whole site. But also, this was not like the early years of web pages and websites at all, by any stretch of the imagination.
Should we buy the domain? What do you think it was? It was my sister wife's webpage.com.
Well, we should ask Jody and Amanda. Maybe it was browntown.com. We'll have to check.
I want them to start that again. A collective family webpage for us to get updates on.
Well, yeah, that is a real
fundy thing, isn't it?
That is the My Sister Wife's Closet blog. I think that's where we get all of those updates from Robyn.
Robyn's comfortable parenting the kids, but only when the other wives aren't around to witness how she parents them, I guess. It
doesn't sound great when you say it like that, though. She doesn't want any witnesses to the crimes that are about to commit. She has to look over her shoulder and see, is there anyone in the vicinity?
Totally comfortable following through with the rules, punishing kids when they're not behaving, but only if none of the other parents are there to see it happen.
She gets stage fright. She gets nervous. She
Probably
doesn't
what
trust
it is.
herself. It's just, you have to know that she has the best interest of the kid at heart. That's where the parenting always aligns. That's where they all agree upon on that.
She's doing her part, though, especially with her kids. She's making sure that they stay in line because she feels like she's slacking if she's not taking care of her own children.
How often does she feel like she's slacking then?
How many people does it take to take care of her children? And we've seen quite a few. It's rare that Robyn is parenting her children alone.
So this must be a constant feeling. This is a normal baseline emotion then for Robyn. It's just to feel like she's slacking. But not when it comes to Mykelti. Because she's here. She's showing up in force for Mykelti. Do you know what I suspect about the relationship? Robyn used the kids as an in for her to establish a connection in the family. She focused in on Aspen and Maddie initially at first when Cody and Robyn were courting because they were mature and responsible enough to babysit while Robyn and Cody were dating.
And then she developed this quote unquote friendship with Mykelti because Mykelti is the underdog, which really, what an insult, isn't it? I really root for the underdog, and that's why I came to appreciate Mykelti so much. She's like myself, She-Ra, in that way.
She-Ra, the underdog.
An underdog just taking on the world against all the odds.
Of course. I think Aspen and Maddie were able to kind of sniff out the weirdness in Robyn initially, or like get a vibe, get a read, get a check of her. And then that's when she had to steer towards Mykelti instead, because she was like, oh, Maddie and Aspen aren't vulnerable enough for me to take advantage of. So that's where we get the hooks in Mykelti, because she's super sensitive. She's overlooked a lot. She's creative and independent. She gets razzed a lot. What's with the hat? That was where I had my hat note.
Okay.
She gets razzed
We
a lot.
razzed her already before we even got to this point in the book.
She gets razzed a lot.
Yeah. That's, I guess, the intro to Robyn does not tolerate bullying and never has, never will.
No bullying, no harassment of any of the kids. Even minor teasing is off limits.
Why would you join this family then when you know that that is like just the standard way? That's the baseline of how the kids interact with one another.
Well, also wildly unrealistic, because Robyn's expectation is, I want all the children to be nice to one another always.
Then you've never had siblings.
Always? You want them. So you have set an unobtainable standard here. There's no way that's going to happen.
That's how she ended up with a mean girl, though. That's why Brianna makes faces behind people's backs and says snarky things that have a second meaning to them. A deeper meaning.
Yes, you have to undercut. It becomes...
It's covert now.
Oh, very much so. And also, yeah, just like the backhandedness of all of that too, because it has to be something that you say that, oh, you're just misinterpreting what I'm saying, even though
I'm not being mean.
Your main
Why would you think
intent is to rip this person apart, but you're not allowed to do that.
Again, I don't think that this is something that Robyn is doing necessarily for the benefit of the children. My opinion is that Robyn cannot handle conflict or uncomfortable feelings, negative feelings. So she doesn't want the kids to interact in that way so that she doesn't have to be around it.
Well, this is why, yeah, she's patting herself on the back. That's why she prefers a calmer, more peaceful home environment. I don't think you get that. Like, because then that's just a facade. That's not real then. Or people aren't expressing what their actual emotions are usually.
Yeah, and what do you mean by peaceful? Because it doesn't seem like Aurora was enjoying a peaceful environment that was keeping her calm, cool, and collected.
Peaceful for whom? Yeah, it seems like Robyn seems to be the beneficiary of that peaceful environment because it's peaceful for her to control everyone else's emotions around her.
Even though Robyn has this really great parenting style, the older kids were not ready to accept her as a new mom when she came into the family.
Well, and Robyn thought that the other moms were just going to force their teenage children to accept Robyn as a mom, which I'm sure that would have went over great too, because anytime a parent is telling a teenager to do something, they just immediately go along with it.
That kind of explains Meri's freak out at the 4th of July Rebellion episode, though, because that is exactly what Robyn wanted them to be doing, was to tell them to stop treating the other kids like they weren't their siblings and to accept all the parents, because this is how it is now.
Well, Robyn starts to realize that respect is earned, not demanded. So I wish that she would teach Cody that, because boy, in the later seasons, he just really seems to demand a lot of respect, but he doesn't earn any of it. So that's an interesting lesson to learn and then not pass along.
Let's talk more about Cody, because what I thought really stood out to me was in the other 3 chapters from the other wives, Cody's not mentioned at all in the family section. Robyn, though, makes sure to talk about him quite a bit. She's got to give him his kudos for being such a great father, even though he's stretched so thin. And he makes all the time count, and that the kids have really been lacking having a good daddy in their lives.
Okay, there were multiple gross lines on this page that I had to highlight, and I just went, ugh. I cringed as I highlighted them, and I think that was, I know my kids have felt the lack of having a good daddy in their life. Ugh. I don't like the way that's phrased.
And long before she met Cody, they were asking her when they were going to get a new dad. Which is funny because wasn't she only a single mom for like maybe a year?
Yeah, but how much of that time did they spend with She-Ra versus Robyn? It's hard to tell.
I just wonder if she's creating this fictional world in which the kids were so ready and, I mean, really desperate is the bottom line, but ready to have a new dad come into the picture that when Cody entered the scene, it wasn't an adjustment for them. It was something that they had looked forward to for such a long time.
Daddy's kisses and hugs are welcome and wanted.
Okay, I highlighted that too because you know what it made me think of? No, thank you, Daddy.
No, thank you.
That was intentionally in there because other wives don't force their children to interact with Cody like that if they don't feel comfortable.
And that has wounded Cody repeatedly. Truly has harmed Cody more than anything else in this world.
His self-esteem.
His self-esteem is just taken blow after blow, and he doesn't know what to do with that. So he needs to retreat to Robyn's house where her kids are desperate for this affection in any way, shape, or form. I just hope it's not a flare-up day on the kisses thing, but I mean, I guess...
No, thank you, Daddy.
Everybody's already got it, yeah.
This one page was a gold mine. She's starting to talk about how the most difficult thing for the kids is that they never get to be selfish. And so they can't put their needs in front of their other siblings' needs, which I think was so evident watching the COVID time period where Ari was pinning herself to the front door because Cody couldn't leave for more than 24 hours.
Yeah, that's like for Isabel's needs when she had to go to New Jersey for surgery.
For vacation?
Vacation to New Jersey, subsequently also big major spinal surgery. But you can't surpass the needs of the chicken tenders that are at Robyn's house.
She does acknowledge that her kids specifically have to adjust to sharing more with their brothers and sisters, which I guess we're going to just say was a failure because we haven't seen it happen.
Hasn't looked to be on display here in this way, but the family is always a team. According to Robyn, is their family the team? Because there's not a greater team at large here that we're seeing. There's no teamwork.
Except when it comes to making this show and getting their paychecks.
That's collective.
The most teamwork they do together.
Effort that they can put into that, yeah.
Which is a good lead-in because we're going to be starting the celebrity chapter.
I know Robyn was really excited about the show getting her on equal footing in terms of finances, so we'll have to see how she feels about her celebrity status now as well.
For next week, then, make sure you read, if you're reading along with us, both Meri and Janelle's chapters. We'll be dropping that episode on Monday, and then we'll do Christine and Robyn again, like we did now, on Friday. Any other announcements before we go? There's a lot going on the podcast, guys. There's a lot coming up in September.
Everything is dropping. Everything is back. Everything is on. It's all a go. It's here. I swear to God, if Secret Lives of Mormon Wives comes back, I'm going to explode.
They're going to be on Dancing with the Stars.
I know they're going to be on that.
Jen.
But if they bring back another season to correspond with the Dancing with the Stars season, I'm going to lose my mind.
Yeah, well, if you want to know what's going to be going on here, we already talked about it a little bit at the top of the episode, but we're going to be finishing this book in the next week and a half, I guess.
Getting close, yeah, and beginning of September.
Christine's book, we will start reading that as well. We're thinking probably how it's going to happen is we're going to break it out into a couple of different episodes rather than chapter by chapter, because we got to finish that baby before Sister Wives starts.
It's kicking off. And then we have Special Forces. That starts towards the end of September. What was that? September 25th? It's a Thursday. So we'll probably drop those episodes within the day or two of it airing.
But that's going to happen here. So you'll be getting Sister Wives and Special Forces for as long as Cody's on the show. And then over on our other podcast, Surviving Reality, we are still working our way through Welcome to Plathville. And then we are going to have Seeking Sister Wife return. Very excited about that. The Merrifields are back. So is the Davis family. We're going to find out what new Brazilian women.
Yeah, it could be. It could be.
Garrick is courting.
Garrick is impregnating now. So yeah, it's getting pretty serious pretty quick. Also, Real Housewives of Salt Lake City is coming back mid-September as well. We're probably going to be dropping those episodes like we did our season 20 Sister Wives trailer reaction over on Patreon. So make sure you sign up for the Patreon, even if it's as a free member if you want access to those episodes.
I think how we're going to handle that is that we're going to go live after the episodes air on TV, and you guys can join, or you can listen to it later.
Yeah, it'll be like a watch what happens sort of post-show hour-long thing that we're going to do there, but not to go toe-to-toe with Andy Cohen or anything, but I think that's just when we're going to have time to do that.
And we'll see what else they throw our way.
I swear to God, Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, you better hold off. Hold your horses.
Thanks for listening. See you next time.